We are going to talk about something that might upset a lot of people today. You ready? One simple question. Think about all the self-help books you have read, all the morning routines you have tried, all the meditation apps you have downloaded. Now ask yourself, are you actually free? I mean really free. Free to wake up when you want, work on what matters to you, say no to things you don't like. Or are you still checking your bank account before making decisions? Still asking your boss for time off? Still worried about next month's rent? Something tells me you know where I'm going with this. And today, I'm going to explain why self-improvement without this one missing piece is basically just expensive therapy that never ends. If you get value from this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and check out the link down below for more value. Here's what nobody talks about in the self-help world. You know those statistics they love throwing around? Well, here's one they don't mention. While personal development is important, research shows that only a small percentage of people actually achieve financial independence, often under 10%. Think about it for a second. We live in this weird time where people have perfect morning routines but can't afford to quit jobs they hate. They meditate every day, but they still have anxiety attacks when bills come in. They read every productivity book but feel more trapped than ever. I see this everywhere. People posting their 5 a.m. workout selfies, their gratitude journals, their perfect meal prep. But behind the scenes, they're still living paycheck to paycheck, still asking permission to take vacations, still one emergency away from financial disaster. And the self-help industry keeps selling them more solutions, more courses on mindsets, more books on habits, more apps for tracking everything. But here's the thing, you can optimize yourself into the ground. And if you don't own your income, you'll never be free. Let me paint you a picture. There's this guy, let's call him Mike. He spent 5 years and about $50,000 on personal development. Had a perfect morning routine, up at 5 a.m, meditation, journaling, workout, cold shower, the whole thing. Read every book from Tony Robbins to Naval Ravikant. Could quote stoic philosophy like a professor, but Mike was still making $45,000 a year at a job that slowly crushed his soul every day. Still had to ask his manager for time off. Still stressed about money every month. All that self-improvement, and he was basically a very disciplined slave. This is what I call the self-improvement trap. You keep working on yourself, thinking that's the answer. But working on yourself without owning your time is like polishing a cage. It might look prettier, but you're still trapped inside. So what's the missing piece? It's simple, but most people won't hear it because it requires work. Real work. Not the comfortable work of reading books or doing morning routines. I'm talking about the scary work of building something that's yours. The missing piece is ownership, specifically owning your income. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. You can be the most enlightened, disciplined, optimized person in the world, but if someone else controls your paycheck, you're not free. Think about it. What does freedom actually mean? It means having choices. It means being able to say no to things you don't want to do. It means not having to check your bank balance before buying groceries. It means waking up excited about your day instead of dreading it. And you can't get that from a better morning routine. You get that from owning your time and income. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I need to work on myself first. I need to be ready. I need to have the right mindset. That's just fear talking. That's a self-improvement trap, keeping you comfortable in your cage. Here's what actually happens when you start building something that's yours. You grow as you go. You develop confidence by doing, not by reading about doing. You solve real problems for real people, which gives you actual purpose, not just Instagram quotes about purpose. I've seen this pattern over and over. People who spend years trying to improve themselves first never start. But people who start building something while working on themselves, they transform faster than anyone expected. Why? Because they have skin in the game. They have real challenges to overcome, real feedback from the market, real reasons to grow. The self-help industry has convinced us that we need to be perfect before we can start. That's backwards. You become who you need to be by doing what needs to be done. Now, if you're still with me and thinking, okay, this makes sense, but how do I actually do this? I need to tell you something first. There are basically 3 types of people who will watch this video. Some of you are interested. You will watch, maybe take some notes, feel motivated for a day or two. Then you will be back to your routine and maybe buy another course about morning routines. Others are committed. You'll actually start planning. You might even take some action. You'll research business ideas, maybe start a blog or a YouTube channel, get excited for a week or two, but when it gets hard, when nobody's watching your content, when the first few sales don't come, you'll quit and tell yourself it doesn't work. But a few of you, and I mean a very small percentage, you are obsessed. You understand that this isn't about getting rich quick or finding some life hack. This is about fundamentally changing how you live, and you're willing to do whatever it takes for however long it takes. If you're in the obsessed category, here's what matters. First thing, you need to stop looking for the perfect idea and start with what you already know. This isn't about finding your passion or discovering your life purpose. That's more self-help nonsense. This is about monetizing knowledge you already have. What problems have you solved in your life? What skills do you have from your job? What topics do people always ask you about? What pain points have you figured out? That's your starting point. Maybe you figured out how to lose weight without giving up foods you love. That's a business. Maybe you learn how to manage anxiety without medication. That's a business. Maybe you know how to use Excel better than anyone at your office. That's a business. Maybe you figured out how to save money on a tight budget. That's a business. Stop overthinking this. You don't need to be the world's leading expert. You just need to be a few steps ahead of the people you want to help. Second thing, and this is crucial, you need to be accessible. When you start putting content out there, when people start asking questions, when customers have problems, you need to be there, not your VA, not some customer service script. You. This is where most people fail. They want to build a business, but they don't want to build relationships. They want the freedom, but they don't want the responsibility. You can't have one without the other. When someone comments on a video, respond. When someone emails you a question, answer it. When someone's having trouble with your product, help them fix it. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being human. Third thing, and this might be the most important, you need to understand this is a lifetime commitment. You're not building a side hustle. You're not looking for passive income. You're not trying to make a quick buck. You're changing your identity from employee to owner. When someone asks what you do, instead of saying, I work at ABC company, you will say, I run XYZ business. That shift in identity changes everything. It changes how you think, how you act, how you solve problems, how you see opportunities. This takes time. It takes years, not months. But here's the thing, those years are going to pass anyway. You can spend them optimizing your morning routine and hoping someone else gives you a raise, or you can spend time building something that's yours. Fourth thing, you need to start before you're ready. The self-improvement world has trained us to believe we need to be perfect before we can start anything. We need the perfect plan, the perfect website, the perfect product, the perfect brand. That's paralysis disguised as preparation. Trust me, I've been there. Every successful business you admire started messy, started small, started imperfect. The person who starts with a simple offer and improves it based on real feedback will be the person who spends months planning the perfect launch every single time. Let me give you some examples of what this looks like in the real world. There's a woman named Sarah who spent 3 years trying to work on herself before starting anything. She read every business book, took courses on entrepreneurship, worked on mindset coaches, but she never actually started a business because she never felt ready. Then she got laid off from a corporate job. Suddenly she didn't have the luxury of waiting to be ready. She had to figure it out fast. Sarah had always been good at organizing things. Friends would ask her to help plan their events, organize their closets, set up systems for their small businesses. So she started offering virtual organizing services for $25 an hour. Within 6 months, she was booked solid. Within a year, she had raised her prices to $75 an hour and she had a waiting list. Now she runs a 6-figure organizing business and has never been happier. What changed? She stopped trying to be ready and started serving people. Or look at someone like James. He worked in corporate IT for 10 years, knew everything about network security, but hated his job. Kept telling himself he needed to learn more, get more certifications, work on his confidence before he could start his own thing. One day, a friend asked him to help secure their small business network. James did it for free, just to help out. The friend was so impressed, they referred him to 3 other businesses. Those businesses referred him to others. James realized he didn't need more certifications, he needed more clients. So he quit his job and started a cybersecurity consulting business. Now he makes more in a month than he used to make in 3 months at his corporate job. The difference? He stopped preparing and started doing. Here's another one. There's a guy who had terrible social anxiety for years, tried everything, Therapy, meditation, self-help books, courses on confidence. Nothing really worked until he was forced to give presentations at work. Over time, he developed his own system for managing anxiety in social situations. Friends started asking him for advice. He began writing about it online. People resonated with his approach because it was practical, not just theory. Now, he runs a coaching business helping other introverts succeed in social situations, makes more money than his old corporate job, and actually enjoys Mondays. See the pattern? None of these people waited to be perfect. They started with what they knew, served people who needed help, and built from there. The self-improvement version would have them still reading books about confidence, still trying to fix themselves first, still preparing for someday. The ownership version has them helping people today while growing themselves through real experience. Sounds good? Check out the first link down below and I'll show you how to get started with businesses like that. Now, here's what separates the people who actually build something from the people who stay stuck in the self-improvement loop forever. This can't be a hobby. It can't be something you do when you feel like it. It can't be a backup plan in case your job doesn't work out. If you're going to do this, it has to matter to you the way your freedom matters to you. I know someone who decided at 28 that their biggest goal wasn't to be wealthy or famous or have nice cars. Their goal was simple: to be completely in control of their time and income. Not for a year or two, for life. That decision changed everything, because when you commit to ownership at that level, every choice becomes clear. Do I take the promotion that requires more hours but pays more money? No, because that moves me away from ownership. Do I spend my weekend binge watching Netflix or working on my business? Business, because that moves me toward ownership. This isn't about being obsessed with work. This is about being obsessed with freedom. And the only path to real freedom is through owning something that matters. Think about the most successful business owners you know. They don't see their business as separate from their life. Their business is their life, not in an unhealthy way, but in a way that gives them energy instead of draining it. When you own something, every problem becomes interesting instead of annoying. Every challenge becomes growth instead of stress. Every customer becomes a relationship instead of a transaction. But you can't get there if you're treating this like a side project. You can't get there if you're still hoping someone else will save you. You can't get there if you're waiting to feel ready. Here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Take out your phone or open a document on your computer. I want you to write down 3 things. Number 1, what's one problem you have solved in your life that other people struggle with? Don't overthink this. What do friends ask you for advice about? What do co-workers come to you for help with? What challenge did you figure out that others haven't? Number 2, if you had to help someone solve their problem for $100, what would you do? Will you create a guide? Will you do a consultation call? Will you set up a system for them? Keep it simple. Number 3, where are the people who have this problem hanging out online? Facebook groups, Reddit communities, YouTube channels, Instagram hashtags, LinkedIn posts. That's it. That's your starting point. Not a business plan, not a brand strategy, not a perfect website. Just those 3 things. Most people won't do this exercise because it feels too simple. They want something more complicated, more impressive, more worthy of their intelligence. That's the self-improvement trap talking again. The people who actually build successful businesses are the ones who start simple and improve as they go, not the ones who plan perfectly and never start. Alright, look, I'm not saying self-improvement is completely useless. Reading good books, having healthy habits, working on your mindset, these things matter, but they matter as tools, not as destinations. The destination is freedom, the ability to live life on your own terms, to choose how you spend your time, who you spend it with, what problems you work on. That doesn't come from having a perfect morning routine. That comes from owning your income. So here's my challenge to you. Stop buying courses about how to improve yourself and start building something that serves other people. Stop reading about confidence and start doing things that require courage. Stop preparing for someday and start creating something today. Your future self will thank you. Not because you finally figured out the perfect productivity system, but because you decided to bet on yourself instead of hoping someone else would save you. If you got value from this video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every week about building real freedom, not just feeling better about being trapped. And if you're serious about taking action on this stuff, check out the resource in the description. I'll see you in the next one.